Putting a little bit more context in behind this landing spot grade when we talk about some of the receivers that we've seen, from the 2019, the 2020, and the 2021 class. I mean, who were some guys that the landing spot really kind of shed some light on? Maybe a guy that we need to be paying a little bit more attention to versus, one of these guys that maybe looking like a little bit more of a fade. This landing spot grade of yours has really been able to identify some guys, and I really enjoy the edge that you've been able to find here.
Yeah, so I think if we're kind of looking at the last year's class, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think was pretty obvious for everybody, but that he had no competition going in. Eventually, he was going to be the guy. So if he had any like remote talent at all, you knew he was going to be producing in some way during his rookie year, because there was nobody else. Who else was on that team?
Reynolds.
Reynolds, yeah, Josh Reynolds. Um,
Um,
who else can you think of? I think that's the point, right? Hawkinson went down, right? Then it was toast. But so, even though he's a fourth round pick, his landing spot value was so high. And so when people are not looking at the landing spot and they're saying, "Oh, I don't care about those things anymore. Jalen Reagor was bad that one time. I don't care about that," right? And they only care about draft capital, then you're going to miss some of that value, right? So right now in the market, everybody's looking at draft capital. Everybody's saying, okay, well, he's a fourth round pick. In my model, that's going to bump him down a pretty significant amount. But you can look at the landing spot and say, well, no, we should bump him back up. And I think really that's what we're trying to do with the landing spot score is how do I find an edge? And just like you're saying, right? How do I find the edge? And Amon-Ra St. Brown is a great example of a good edge that we were able to find there.
And just one more thing is with the landing spot grade, so much weight seems to be emphasized on opportunity there, a huge chunk of it. And unfortunately though, that seems like it's one of those things that can change. While the opportunity may look great end of April, beginning of May, we continue to see more pieces get shifted around the NFL. Veteran wide receivers that we don't expect to go anywhere anytime soon are getting shifted, across the division. The opportunity can change significantly, and it seems like it's overnight in the NFL. How can you, weight something like that? Obviously, we can't see what we can't see, but you have to think that opportunity can change overnight in today's NFL.
Yeah, well, I think what makes the landing spot score valuable in that sense is really we care about what's going on in the first year. Like one season is such a long period of time, and everybody in Dynasty pretends that they want to think 3 years out, right? But just already, you look at how much the wide receiver value shifts after just 1 year, right? All of a sudden, again, a guy like Amon-Ra, right? He's now certainly more valuable than some of the other guys that went ahead of him, and there's a huge gap there. Right now, he's like people are going to say he's a top 20 wide receiver. And so with the landing spot score, you're capturing immediate value. And that's ultimately what people are going to be looking at, right? As soon as a guy is bad for 1 year, already his value's toast, but he's bad for 2 years, right? And that's really the time frame we're looking at with a lot of the landing spot stuff, the system changes, all that kind of stuff. But if he's bad for 2 years in a row, it's over, right? Nobody's going to care. So trying to capture immediate value, it's okay that it's temporary. It's still going to work out because the immediate value is really what matters to fantasy players.